Hey guys, hey, we're back. Part 2. So, Pluto, yes, let's continue. Pluto, what's that? Spirit is, Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, 8th house energies. Spirit wants to talk about, what really this is going to mean in terms of the retro. Basically, look at Pluto and everything that it's related to. In a nutshell, well, in a sense, a major facet. Spirit, you're gonna be, let's just say like this. People who were jealous of you, you did not know, this is going to come out. People who had like a weird, silent, sort of strange agenda, okay? And they didn't want you to like find out about this or whatever, you're gonna find out, okay? People who were manipulating and abusing, okay, the conversation as well, even in terms of trying to do some sort of strange energy work, that will be called out. So Spirit is also acknowledging, though, the counteract to that, which is that the spiritual protection energies will be amplified and they will be heightened. They will be getting stronger. But the really important thing, and as I was meditating, I was hearing it needs to get cleared. So it needs to get cleared out. They need to get cleared. That was the exact phrase. So, you know, the things that we maybe have been holding on to, okay, maybe we thought, well, it's kind of cute, all right? Yet again, Pluto is not here for cute. Pluto's here for real. So whatever it was kind of cute, but not really real. And usually you will know what this is. Like, you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your bones. Again, the part of you that, you know, you are very intuitive. You understand the things that don't really resonate with your spirit, with your soul. But now is the time where you'll sort of like kind of just do something about it now. You know what I'm saying? Spirit will come in and sort of create these scenarios. It may be kind of shocking. These can be people who is just like, it's like almost like you would have never thought, okay, this is what I'm seeing from Spirit. And we do have here, in terms of the ephemeris, the sun more or less conjuncting with the North Node with Uranus. So these are going to be like moments. I don't actually see it as an epiphany as much as I do a literal moment of like, wow. Okay, because the North Node, hey Andre, hello. The North Node is in the sign of Taurus, which is all about this third dimensional reality. So now we're going to be looking at what's behind the scenes, but as manifested in 3D. So it's interesting, but you're definitely going to be you're going to be reaping the benefits of your positive karma as well. And it always depends on how you see it. Do you have trust in this process? Do you flow with what is released at this time? Are you going to allow Spirit to do what it needs to do and remember that you're guided? Because a lot is shifting around right now. Okay, so have faith in the process. You will be a very different person most likely by the time Pluto has gone direct, and by the time as well that Mercury goes direct. So at this time, right, just kind of wait, let all the waves splish and splash around, and see what remains after the story. Who stays for the credits? Who stays for the real? Who really wants to, right? So this is how you'll know. But in the meantime, you have to just kind of keep your cool, stay calm, cool, collected, and see what ends up transpiring, and remembering that you do not do others karma for them. You don't have anything to feel guilty about. I'm hearing that as well when it comes to these such discussions. What ends up happening is very much meant to be, okay, this is a very so-called fated time with the North Node hit on in the South Node, and sometimes we just, you know, we felt something, but we're awakening to what that really means. And you know, we have to remember at this time as well that it's our inner spirit, our inner soul that is coming forward and wanting to pave the way and clarify how it is that we integrate our knowings and our knowledge with the particular paradigm at play at present. I'm here currently. So this is a matter of trusting the process and knowing that you're not a victim to your reality, knowing that you create your reality, and knowing that whatever it is that does come through in this present moment, in this reality, in this particular discussion, is a product of what it is that you have manifested. And it's all about coming down to realizing, okay, that you are a creator, and that is the discussion of Pluto, right? And we'll say conclusively, it is about how it is that you feel empowered by your Pluto, how you recognize your Pluto, and how you're aware of your Pluto energy. Are you giving it away? Are you in a certain relationship or in a certain partnership where you're kind of silently just giving your energy away to another person to then decide what to do with, right? I mean, so this is where we're getting very tight. We're getting very, very tight, and the way this happens is going to be sort of a little jarring maybe, but this is what needs to be done, because Pluto kind of needs to come in and just kind of start getting real. And so wherever shadow has been lurking, that's going to be what feels weird. So again, the easier this process becomes will be based on how it is that you are flowing with the cycle and saying, you know what, I'm not a victim to anything that happens during this time. I'm going to allow myself to observe what it is that I have sort of created as a space for also further transmutation. So take it in stride. It is a hard time right now. These are going to be really kind of creepy moments where you start seeing people crawling out of people. Okay, yes, correct. This is gonna be a time. Yeah, you heard the guides. This is what they want. They want to they want to illuminate this. That yeah, you're gonna be seeing the really weird ass creepy crawly energies. Okay. And just kind of oozing out of people's auras at a certain point. And so trust it when you see it. Trust it when you see it, because they were silent. It's kind of like spirits coming in, shaking like the human, and yeah, for the story to be told right. I hear it like that. So just trust again what you see. And it is Mercury, it is Pluto retro, but you know, it's going to kind of be shift, and by the end of the cycle yet again, things may come back together. But the way is by way of just flowing and saying, you know what, all right, I am honest. I have nothing to feel guilty about. I have no guilt. I have no remorse. I don't feel bad for the decisions I make because I'm in the light and I don't act for my shadow. So I have no fear of what is happening in this moment in time. And definitely clear your aura, keep clearing your aura to ensure that you don't take on projected energies, projectile energies from the ego of others that are being awoken and shaken and recalibrated with the spirit, the higher self. So people will have a challenging time if they are not in the light, especially when it comes to the balance of their ego with their higher self. People who are having a really tough time right now are those who are holding on to their ego like there's no tomorrow. And it may be all of us, you guys. I have to be honest. I mean, I've had a moment. I've had moments. This week was very harsh, okay, in some ways. So but we're grateful and we keep moving. So, you know, and we all can't really complain, you know, if you're healthy and you're grounded and you are moving on your way, right? You keep positive. And so, but the thing is that there are a lot of people right now on planet Earth who are having a very challenging time. And so you will maybe attract with people, and you have to remember that you're always your own personal, individual entity, and you make your decisions. And so it's about remembering, yeah, and your power, right? From the seat of your power. So making a decision is not the point. It's more the consciousness with which you make your decision, the context. And so if you've sort of been just like kind of like basing your decisions based on someone else around you, or what someone wanted for you, or what you felt they thought about you or would not think about you should you make a certain decision in a particular way, then you're gonna feel that it's kind of uncomfortable around this time when that person is being re-manifested in your reality and remanaged and recalibrated to suit your space of ultimate power. So this may feel kind of like weird or uncomfortable right now, but it's ultimately going to be bringing back the real you, okay, to you. So I want to get in the chat and see how we're all doing. How's it going, guys? It's really important to try and keep yourself clear. It's like walking through a hall in a hospital and everyone's crying. You have to walk down the hall. You're not going to be going into a room, you know, turning into like another patient. I mean, if you're not a patient, right? You got to walk with purpose down the hall. This is about being purposeful with your story, with your light, and knowing who to give it to and at what time. Let's clear the root chakra, sacral chakra. Let's clear it. Let's clear all the way down. There's something that you are deciding on. And I also see that we are deciding on exactly, you know, who we want to also get in touch with at this time. Some of you may be creating, okay, something new projects, connecting to new people. We were talking about this in the last Astro chat just prior to this. Spirit, the beauty of the Pluto retro is that, and Mercury retro concurrent, is that you will be releasing things that absolutely don't work, that are in the shadow of Pluto. People who are also abusing, okay, the element of sex and sexiness and you know, dark sorcery practices and things that were just not based on the true source of your true power seat, which is, I don't need to take from another person. I don't need to manipulate another person to become more of who I am already and who I've been, and to influence, okay, another in a way that is unnatural, okay, that reminds me, okay, that I'm in the fear of my power, that and everything related to that will have to get cleared. And so if you've been dealing with someone who was trying to, let's say, for example, let's give an example. Let's say someone here was trying to like be very sexy, okay, without morals. Let's just say it like that. Okay, yes, these people are not going to have a very fun time here with the Pluto retro and the Mercury retro. And you best be assured that Spirit is watching, okay, everyone, and how it is that they follow along through this karmic conversation. And they're making sure that everyone is paying attention. It's almost like an astral court moment, definitely. So this is like a moment where, like, yeah, if you're abusing the Pluto, I mean, Pluto can be magnetism, it can be sexiness, it can be attraction, it can be all these things. But it's also reality, right? Pluto is, but the reality, interestingly, of more like 5D, right? We'll say, where you are the creator from the seat of not necessarily also, well, Pluto can also rule the assets of others and money and this and that, but it's really in the highest form about knowing your internal intrinsic currency, which is your release of fear and the need for the attainment of something very particular to feel powerful. So this is about reuniting with your higher self and feeling very grounded in that space. So the challenge here is, though, that you will be realizing, okay, where it is that others may not have been also in that space, where it is that maybe you were also permitting others to not necessarily be in that space. Maybe where it's like, well, you know, I like this about that person, but, you know, are they really fully integrating their higher self in this conversation, or are they just kind of like very persuasive? I'm hearing that as well. These are going to be the conversations that need to get cleared out. Why? Because Spirit is waiting to bring in new contracts for you. The opposite of what it is you've been dealing with when it comes to the shadow of Pluto. So you've been dealing maybe with someone who was very sort of, I'm here, narcissistic, okay, very much in the shadow of Pluto. This is why you want to be careful with really the types of, you know, whatever it is. Okay, Scorpio is very, it's a fine line. Okay, shadow Pluto can be very different, okay, from the high functioning Pluto. So Spirit is coming in and saying, has this person been sort of manipulative? Have they been manipulative with you, with others, themselves? What is the story here? And if, you know, they're very so-called maybe attractive, or you're attracted to this person for whatever reason, but they're not really like kind of doing it in a way that is appropriate for themselves as well, where they're really in their own power seat, then Spirit is going to squeegee them off of the board. We mentioned this in the last Astro Chat. But then what that's going to proceed, okay, is you coming into contact with high-functioning Scorpio Plutonic individuals. But this is a general video, and you should always, I wouldn't meet people offline in general. I would be very wary of who it is I meet, especially still during a Mercury retrograde and during a Pluto retro. I would really deem that you'll be really meeting these soulmates after Pluto goes direct, and especially into post-shadow, at least. During Pluto retro, we still got a shit show going on, but yeah, kind of like mud slinging in the air kind of vibes. But then Mercury retro, definitely wait until that goes direct. And yeah, because right now it's like sloppy. We have to clear the contracts. It's like, yeah, and people are gonna get really pulled out of like, yeah, fucking around, okay, class, where they were just doing whatever they wanted and not considering the broader conversation of others in this space. For some reason, I'm seeing this as something political, take it as you will. I'm seeing like countries like being pulled out of like certain conversations. I don't know what that's linked to. Let's click down the throat chakra, left side of the body. Like I see like some kind of meeting. It's like the United Nations meeting or something of the sort. It's like certain like representatives can no longer represent. So take it as you will. Something is just not really being observed appropriately. I'm seeing that as well. Okay, so we're gonna have to see that in a new way. It's like, okay, yeah, he's not gonna be here reporting on that live anymore, because, and it's gonna be a little bit moment of like, well, that's weird, what happened? But this needs to kind of be called out. I'm hearing like that. So Spirit is kind of like getting very hot on their heels with this, and just see who it is that starts sort of just suddenly disappearing from your world all of a sudden. Okay, this is a clue as to who is in the shadow of Pluto. So now let's get into Pluto more, because Pluto can be fucking amazing energy to work with your projects, with your partnerships, you with you, okay, just like kind of connecting to this ethereal world that we're in, right, this dimension, so-called world. you know, realizing your passions more so, realizing that the gravity with which you also have passion for certain causes. This is going to be more of what you're stepping into, and also meeting people who are also in that space, who are ready to take their so-called shit on, and who are brave ultimately, who are in the higher form of what it means to truly manifest. So the true alchemists, okay, the true sorcerers, the sorceresses, okay, the sorcerets and sorcerees. We are going to be stepping into our mission, which calls on our true source of our ability to connect to our higher self, not to manipulate. That's very different. So this is why Spirit was coming in months ago and was pointing out and saying, hello, okay, really, they're not favoring black magic practices that are not in alignment with the higher source. This is not, and it definitely not, okay, if you're thinking, I'm gonna become a black, magic woman, I'm hearing that as well. I mean, this is not, no, and I mean, that's a very different thing. If you're doing something for protection purposes, it's very different. Okay, and this is there are dark angels, true, but that's very different from saying I want to turn into like a black witch for revenge. That's not the, no. Okay, this is not the point. Okay, so let's clear it in the throat chakra. It's not about black magic. I'm hearing it like this, and so that can be anything though. That can also be the way that you're trying to approach a certain subject matter. I hear it as well in this way. Let's clear the throat chakra. Yeah, so for some of you, this is about perspective and just orienting it differently to suit the next moment we take on of creatorship, and really remembering who we are. So this is where you'll be, I'm hearing remember your lineage, where you come from. Spirit is kind of they're extinguishing a lot of the translation of power. So I see it's literally about taking the fire out, okay, that has been causing a lot of smoke. And then, people are wondering, why can't I see clearly? Like, well, because there's all of this really sort of strange nonsense going on when it comes to how people have been manipulating with the Pluto energy. So now what's happening is it's going extinct. I'm hearing that certain energy frequencies are being pushed out, or being extinguished out, and so now there will be more room for you to be able to see clearly, hear clearly, taste, touch, feel, and know what it really is that you want. And so much of manifestation is being able to pinpoint and define and really say that's it. So now we're going to be creating, actually, I'm hearing that as well, maybe where you've been feeling more passive, you're going to be more proactive. You're going to say, I'm going to take the bull by the horns, I'm going to just kind of go for it, and I'm not looking back. So this is a matter of really reuniting as well with your guides. Your guides could not connect with you until they snipped certain contracts up here, and that reminds me of the pick a stack reading we had last night, which was what is happening in this moment of separation between you and this person. So that might be an interesting reading to tap into. For some of you, this is also a very serious moment of regeneration with the physical body, especially I'm seeing this for some. There's something that you're going to tap back into and just kind of remember, like, if you're avoiding something that especially you love or that's very important to you, I feel like Spirit is going to remind you of those things that are important to you and sort of gently start to nudge you back in that direction so that you can get more comfortable with those concepts once again. These might be certain activities, also certain things that, at a certain point you were very much maybe sort of curious about, or you were very passionate about. Spirit is going to be reigniting the flame of these particular, maybe even desires of yours, so that you can get more clear-headed with what really is worth your time and your energy of investing in that space. So thank you guys again for tuning in.